Hello there, and welcome back to the Natalie
and Dennis
Show
podcast. Yeah. How you doing, Natalie?
I'm doing well.
What's today's episode about?
Happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday indeed. I'm so sorry.
That was your one line.
No, 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Well, listen, I'm guessing you clicked on this video because maybe you're feeling a little bit in a slump. Right? We all start off by feeling super motivated, by building really great routines.
That's for sure.
But then one day we just kind of stop.
It stops.
It stops cold turkey, right?
Yep.
So today we really wanted to talk about some life-changing, sustainable routines.
Yes.
That have really helped us and a better way to plan ahead so that you can stop feeling so overwhelmed.
Yeah, you guys have been asking for us to get a little bit deeper with a lot of the topics that we've mentioned previously. And if you stick into the end of the video, we'll actually talk about the one thing that we have done and integrated into our lives to fix everything.
No, but honestly, it is one really incredible tip that even if you're single, we're a couple here and it's greatly enhanced our life. So.
I'm telling you, even if you're single and ready to mingle, this will help you level up your life. I'm telling you.
Exactly. Yeah. So we are getting deeper today. And
we are.
Go for it, host.
Well, as the host and as the one who prepared the script and did these things, people in the comments have been saying that they want us to dive deeper into one or two topics and to not switch around. I heard you guys. I wanted to make some changes and make you happy. So, Natalie, I have a question for you.
Okay.
And then you're welcome to hit me with a question right after that. They are prepared and, you can do your thing. But what has making a routine that works for you look like? And how many times has this routine revamped itself?
Well, as somebody with ADHD, my routine has revamped itself every single month, maybe every single week, but I have stuck to something recently. So in the last episode, we actually talked all about period syncing, which is how I've been managing my life around my period and my moods and my hormones. That's been really helpful. And then I also created a new system, which is now probably live by the time this video is up. It is my Best Me Journal.
Best Me Journal.
Oh, I like that little jingle with that. And it is a 11-page system on how I organize my entire life, from goals of the month to just today's intentions to celebrations. And it's currently available. If you want to check it out, I will link it below for you.
Check it out on offlinehumans.com. That's where you can get your copy. We have it in both a beige and gradient color.
Yeah. But I mean, why has that helped me so much? I mean, I've been using that for over a year because I created it a year ago. And after getting so many requests from you guys on Instagram when I was sharing it, I decided, all right, fine. If you want it, here it is as well. And
I mean, originally it wasn't supposed to be something that was sold. It was something that you actually created for yourself to help with your issues and staying organized. And then we looked at it and we were like, you know what? A lot of people would actually enjoy this. Here, world, have it.
Well, people asked for it. So that's why I was like, maybe I should just put this together and make it look real cute. And it did take me many months to do that because we were a little bit of a perfectionist, but it's currently up and live.
So the question was routine.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that the Best Me Journal helped you with your routine.
Yes.
Can you tell me or explain to me how it helped you?
Yeah. Well, I think I got really clear on my morning routine and my evening routine, like all the steps that make me feel my very best. So it starts out with, I wake up 2 hours before work. That is a non-negotiable for me. Right? Because I don't want to feel like I'm being rushed to then shower, get ready for my day. I always prioritize breakfast. And then I always do something for me. So whether that's Bible journaling or just like listening to a nice podcast or getting outside, that's what those 2 hours consist of. So it started off with my morning routine, right?
Yeah.
Then I also clarified what are my non-negotiables for my evening routine. So for me, it always starts out with ending work at 5. Right?
At 5,
which hasn't happened this week. I will admit we're working really hard because prior to this episode going live, we're actually in Colombia right now, you guys. And so I'm having to bulk and do a lot of stuff. So I haven't been sticking to that one thing. And I feel like it's been affecting my routine and my mood. You've seen it.
Oh, for sure.
I've been crying like every day.
But I mean, the thing is, the Best Me Journal has helped you stay on top of things, right? You do oftenly feel overwhelmed.
I do.
What do you do when you do feel overwhelmed, and what have you realized can help?
Well, with my evening routine, I always make sure that I'm either getting exercise in the morning or in the afternoon. Sorry, in the morning. Yeah. Morning or afternoon. also my skincare, and doing something fun in the day. Those are like my non-negotiables, and that's made me feel a lot better. But another thing that I've been doing is I have been time blocking my day, because before I used to schedule so many things in a day that it doesn't even make sense for any of those things to happen together.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see it, my week at a glance from a bird's eye view, then I'm like, okay, this is really what I'm going to get done. So then that gets moved into another thing. Now, another template, because I'm kind of an organization freak like this, is it's called the year at a glance.
The year at a glance?
Which I actually think I might actually start something like that as well.
No way.
I want to
really?
I want to create something for myself and my outies. But I heard about this first through Ali Abdal, and it's literally like this incredible page where you see every single day of the year. So you can visually say, oh my God, during this time, I'm going to be in Colombia. And then during this time, I'm going to post these videos. And perfect. It's just much better than seeing it day to day, but also day to day is important. You need to be hyper focused, then look from a glance.
I actually looked at your year at a glance. You called it the year at a glance, or what did you call it?
A year at a glance.
A year at a glance. And what's interesting about it is you can see from above, right? If you said from a bird's eye view, how much time you actually dedicate to a certain thing, right?
Yes.
And if you color code and you look at the calendar and you visualize the weeks and the colors, you're like, wow, I dedicated so much time to that one particular thing. That should be the one thing that you succeed in, obviously.
Exactly.
If it's the one thing you dedicate the most time to, right?
Yeah.
Or in opposite fashion, you can also be like, I'm not dedicating as much time to that one thing as I thought I was. And, take an inner look at it and be like, am I succeeding in that? And if not, it just could be that you're not dedicating the correct amount of time for it.
But that's why that sheet helped me, because I was always doing the today sheet, which is something that was really helpful day to day. But then every week I was disappointed because I was like, why are my YouTube videos not getting put up? Oh, it's because I haven't blocked out time. When I looked at the year at a glance, what did I see? I was like, dude, we haven't focused on YouTube in like half a year, actually. Right?
And that's how it was. Yeah.
That's how it was. And
totally true.
Literally what happened this week after we had that realization, because sometimes it does take you like being like, like, duh, right? After we had that realization, I literally filmed 2 videos in the last 2 days.
But this is the thing though, right? We would like organize our life, right? And then all of a sudden it was like
a few moments later.
And then nothing ended up happening, right?
Because
we would plan and focus on what we wanted to do or what was the easiest sometimes. We would avoid the difficult stuff.
Because I think that's the thing, right? When you're creating a routine, there is this paralysis of fear at times when you actually see everything that you have to do. But that's why I'm saying these 3 elements are very important. One is the today worksheet.
Yes.
Right? Which, as I said, it's inside of the Best Me. You can even create this yourself. You don't have to purchase the book to get it.
So 1.
The today worksheet.
2
is the week at a glance.
The week at a glance.
Right?
3
your year at a glance.
Year at a glance.
Yeah, it is quite important. Dennis is having a lot of fun with these transitions.
The edits are just so funny.
If you didn't know, our podcast, we actually edit in real time. So that's why he's like maneuvering everything.
I'm working it.
Our team right now is out and about. Actually, really sad to say, yeah. David's in Colombia, and then Taina is officially in college again. But she'll be back with us, she said, in a year. We hope she keeps her promise.
I mean, the thing is, she was never supposed to be long-term anyways.
I know. It's so crazy. I told Dennis one day, I was like, I'm so overwhelmed. We need help. And he's like, I literally just texted my cousin to come on over. And I'm like, what? And she turned out to be just so incredible.
She's been an amazing addition to, the team.
And Natalie's outlet.
In a year, she'll be back, hopefully.
And she said she's bringing a friend. So
but anyways,
we'll see.
Someone directly asked, right? From the outside perspective, how do you, as in me, Dennis,
deal
with being overwhelmed? They said that I look like a cool cucumber. Cool cucumber. Well, I try my best. I would say I'm patient, but, just like everyone else, I get overwhelmed as well. And, whenever things start to pile up, I have a limit, just like everyone else. And, recently I have found myself giving way to more stress. It's been building and it's been, hard to cope with. And there really is I'm not used to it personally because I don't normally, how do you say, like break
Yeah.
you know? And
You're pretty in tune with your emotions, I think.
yeah, hitting that breaking point makes me realize that I as well have to have something in place for when I feel a certain way.
So what do you think that could be for you?
I don't know, because you have to experience it first, kind of abruptly, and then be like, oh shit, I got to get my stuff together and like fix this. You know, I had never experienced a mental breakdown before. I don't know if I have experienced one up until now or if it's in the future or if I ever will, but I do need to plan accordingly, or if it were to happen, what I should do.
What do you think led you to the last one?
I don't
That was
know.
yesterday, right?
My mental breakdown. Yeah. I don't know. It was,
Or what day was that?
I don't know. It was a lot. And, you know, it's very hard for me to speak my feelings sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so being put on the spot,
I'm actually really proud of you right now.
Yeah, being put on the spot is just really difficult.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No,
though.
no, not this.
Yeah.
On the spot, like talking about it, even together in privacy, you know, like it's difficult for me.
But don't you think it's a little easier with the camera?
No.
No? Is it harder?
No, it's the same. I don't hide anything from when we're filming or anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty open book.
I'm really proud of you for that.
Yeah. But
I would like to figure that out for you too.
Yeah.
Because go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was going to go into the next thing, but yeah, you can go ahead.
No, I guess I just wanted to elaborate because if I was listening and this episode is about getting deeper, I would want to know, okay, Dennis, you look cool as a cucumber, but clearly something triggered that out of you. What was that? And how do you think you could next time get out of it? I mean, you've mentioned running is a really big thing for you. It completely zones you out. And in a weird way, I feel like whenever I'm really stressed out, what helps me is actually just tackling the thing.
Yeah.
So remember we were doing our family calendar that one time?
I remember.
I was like crying. And then you came back and you're like, can we just do this? Like, let's just do it. And I felt so much better right after. So I've recognized that for me, sometimes I just have to do the thing because I'll ponder on it too long. And you shared something with me the other day on TikTok that actually made a lot of sense for me.
Oh, the video?
You want to remember?
So I actually have it. It was one of the TikToks that we were going to react to. And we were going to see
Tell them
whether we match with it, right? So there was a psychologist or like a therapist who went about these 3 ways of thinking. And if you do think in these ways, it tends to lead to anxiety and depression. They're called thinking styles. So I'm actually going to put it on screen right now and we can all listen. And then after each one, I want to pause it and say and ask you, do you think you see the world in this way? And we're going to gauge our own thinking styles.
Yeah. It was a really interesting video for me.
Things that you may be doing that are driving yourself crazy, they're actually thinking styles that are known to lead to depression and anxiety, or maybe just feeling more worried or down than you need to. The first one we're going to talk about, all or none thinking. You see things in absolutes, black and white. They're all good. They're all bad. This is perfect. This is terrible. Most things in life are on a continuum. And if you can rate things on a scale from 0 to 10, you'll see things a little more realistically and maybe not as upsetting.
So tell me about that.
Yeah. So that was the one that really hit home for me. Dennis has made me aware of this. Whenever I'm having a bad day, I'm like, I will say things in absolutes. I'll be like, oh, I'm always so unorganized.
Yeah.
Or this week has been so bad, you know, as opposed to saying like, I was feeling unorganized today, but it doesn't mean that I'm an unorganized person. What other things do I say that's kind of like that?
When it's the same thing. Like,
you're
having a bad day, you forget about anything positive that you had in the same day or even the same week or even the same month. And the world's crashing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a straight, he said from 0 to 10, it's a 0. And then when things are good, you're like, my life is so great. Everything is butterflies.
Why am I like that?
And it's a 10. But, you know, recent things that have happened can easily fall as a 4.
That's true. And I like that idea.
Like a small thing, small tasks, like we got to pay a bill, for example. When that bill is not paid or it's late or overdue or anything, your mind goes 0. Oh, alarms are ringing. Everything is going wrong.
I feel out of control.
Everything is so terrible. When in reality, a late bill, you take the hit. You have to pay a fee. But once you pay the fee, everything is fine. You know, like it's not to the level of 0, you know?
I don't know. I disagree with that because like I maybe this is where my perfectionist comes into. Like I feel that that's not okay. Like I wouldn't just let myself be like, oh great, let's just take the late fee. I'm going to be like, why were we so unorganized that now we're paying extra money for something that we didn't just pay for it on time?
Agreed.
You know?
Oh, I understand.
So I would like to stop thinking in absolutes, but it rings really true to me.
Okay.
And I think that's why I am anxious all the time.
Well, let's look at the next one and then we can consider whether the next one fits you or me, and then, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, over-exaggerating. Something that is a little bit negative is seen as way more negative than it really is. Making mountains out of molehills. Drama queen. You've heard those kinds of things.
How about that one? Do you think you fit that one? It's very similar to the first one.
In a way, yeah. It's like today was the worst day ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty intense.
Yes.
Like, why do I have to say that? And I want to shout out to Remy Ashton. I saw a little snippet of their podcast and I thought this was so incredible. She was like, whenever I'm having a really hard day, I just tell myself, let's just get through tomorrow. Let's just get through tomorrow. And I thought that was like really, I don't know. I like that idea. Like, wow, I'm my own cheerleader. I'm like, let's just do it. And then she ended that by saying, and I did that. And now my brother has cancer. My dog died and I have a cyst in my brain. And I was like, shit, like that's a lot to go through. However, I like that mentality. And I mean, if you're going to get through the hard shit, you might as well get through it in a good mindset. Right.
It's weirdly enough, I also feel sometimes that I think I over exaggerate,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why our minds do this, but it is very sometimes, and this isn't always, it's like everything's falling apart.
You feel that?
Sometimes.
I want to say something. You never do that, but that's what happened when you broke down that time.
Yeah.
You felt that all of a sudden.
It feels like everything's just going wrong.
Yeah. It's a terrible feeling.
Yeah. You want to listen to the third one?
I just want to say one thing. I think grief and losing someone really makes you become someone that you completely don't recognize. Because I was not like this before. I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I could handle more and life was cute, And that's why I sometimes feel like this innocence was stripped away from me after Elia passed, because I feel like all of a sudden I saw the reality of life, and everybody that used to tell me life is hard, life is not fair, all of a sudden I started believing it. And I wish that I could go back to my old self, but I can't. But that is hard for me. Like I'm kind of grieving my past self.
Do you think that goes into the absolutes thing that he mentioned? Do you feel like you're stuck at that zero and it's been hard for you to like drag yourself out of it? It is a way of thinking. And
it is. It's all mental.
The therapy that he's mentioning is thinking patterns and states of mind. It's true. Right?
I think that video made me realize I'd like to reinforce my mindset a little bit more and read some books on how to make it better.
All right, let's listen to number 8.
The third one. Whoops.
I mean, wait, sorry. It's camera 8. That's why I said 8.
Still going here.
My brain's not working.
Jumping to conclusions without any evidence. You either think you know what someone's thinking, or you're predicting what's going to happen, but you overly predict some negative outcome. Let's try to stop doing these things and you'll feel better.
Yeah, I jump to conclusions a lot. I create the craziest scenarios in my head. I'm like, but Dennis, what if this? But what if this? He's like, but that's not real life.
Yeah.
Like, and you did mention to me, you were like, I wonder if you have OCD, because OCD people tend to have a very imaginative imagination.
Yeah.
My imagination is crazy. Like I tell Dennis that in almost 9 years, wait a second.
What happened?
Oh my God. In 2 days, it's 9 years of YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Anyways. No, because that's so cool. I was going to say in the 9 years now that I've been doing YouTube, I've never run out of ideas. I always have ideas. And that's because my imagination is so wild. But I also think it's a double-edged sword because I'm crazy. Like I literally will think of the worst scenarios and I do act on that assumptions. Like, what if this happens? What if this happens? And then you have to bring me back to life and be like, Natalie, that hasn't happened.
That's true.
Like Let's stay here. Don't let your imagination run wild.
I want to talk about a couple comments that people left inside of that video. And they really rang true to me. I believe them, obviously, and that's why I wrote them down. But one person said, "This is me. I literally cause my own pain. I overthink everything so much I can't sleep."
Oof.
Has that happened to you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you believe that you cause your own pain?
Yes, I do. Because there has been so many times in my life where whatever I was so worried about turned out so much better than what I could have ever imagined. Do you know how scared I was?
Look how tiny you look.
Yeah. Do you know how scared I was when I released my Impress collection?
You were pretty, nervous.
I was so nervous. And hey, things turned out really great. So why was I like eating myself alive?
Yeah.
Like it was scary.
The thing is, like, I don't think people who think in this way get out of it very easily.
No.
Because looking back at it, right? You had an Impress collab.
Yeah.
You're really nervous. Like you said, it was eating at you. It was bothering you. Certain things you were very like nervous, overwhelmed, thinking ahead, trying like predicting failure or whatever. We're out of it. Mm-hmm. And yet we tend to still think that way, or you're still in that mindset towards maybe other projects that you have in your mind now.
I know.
Right?
I'm so scared.
So looking back
Why
at that,
do I do that?
Looking back at that and seeing that it didn't end up being a fracaso, failure, or whatever.
But also, like, what if it is a failure? Like, what does it matter? I'm gonna survive. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But I do have, I don't know. I've become really negative. I have to admit it.
Well, another one says, "Bingo, I got all three," which is terrible. And then another one says, "These feel like core parts of my being. How do I change this?"
That's how I feel.
Yep. So the guy did recommend a book. I don't know if you...
I wrote it.
I know you wrote it down. It's called Feeling Great by David Burns. I haven't read it. Natalie hasn't read it, but
it's on my audiobook list.
Yes, the guy recommended it. So be sure to go check it out. It might actually help you if you experience any of these 3 states of thinking. And then, girls have very interesting states of thinking. Mm-hmm. In particular, I wanted to show to you this video that talks about girl math.
Here's a list of things that I firmly
Sorry about
believe
that.
because of girl math. Anything under $5 is free. Anything I buy with a gift card is free. If I buy something but then I return it, I've made money. Going to an event or a concert is free because I purchased the tickets so long ago it doesn't even count. I load my Starbucks app in advance, so Starbucks is free. Anything discounted more than 50% is free, and
So she's gone through many, many, many different ways of thinking, styles of thinking, right?
Yeah, I used to be like her.
What do you think about that?
I think that is somebody that is, and this isn't directly towards her, because this was me. I think it's somebody that's afraid to just deal with finances, which is such a big, real thing.
Sure. So you're saying that she has financial issues?
I'm saying she probably has some resistance with her finances, because if you're thinking like that, like, it's funny, honestly, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think she means well, with that.
Yeah.
But if I were to really think like that, like, how can if I just advance myself in my Starbucks credit, it's free.
Yeah.
Like, no, girl, like, you're probably spending at least $50 a month on Starbucks. I
know I was talking to Sabine a couple days ago and she found $20 in her wallet that she just happened to find.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, look, free money." And then I'm like, "No, girl, that's not free money. You probably earned that somewhere. Your mom gave it to you." And she's like, "No, if it's money that I didn't expect to find and I find it in my wallet, it is free money."
I see it differently now because I cash stuff and it's given me a lot of control over my finances.
Yeah.
Because I physically see how much, because I withdraw a certain amount out of my income to just spend on cash. And does it irk me when people don't accept cash at places, because now I'm like, I have to put it on my credit and whatever. But yeah, I don't agree with her.
I gotta say though, last week I was pulling out a new gym bag that I hadn't taken to the gym. Oh. Guess what I find inside? $20. And I was like, free money right there. And then I can use it for anything. It's not accounted for. I think that's what people keep in mind. Usually you have maybe like $50 in your bank account, and that's all you have. And you have to not spend it. You have to pay for like the metro or the bus or a taxi, or like for certain things. Everything is already kind of mentally stuffed, kind of like what we do physically.
I don't think a lot of people do that.
But those
honey.
$20, well, you'd be surprised, Natalie. If you only have $50, it's got to go a long way.
Oh yeah,
So
I was
you're-
about to say that
yes.
scenario seems.
So you're kind of forced to do it, and that's a real scenario for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people can only make do with $75. You know, and so they have to be careful.
Though I don't think a lot of people do that in the sense of I really do believe that everybody's spending on like credit.
That's true.
That's what I mean. So like,
Okay, yeah.
they're like, oh, here's the worst thing you could do is like, I fucked up. Oh well, put it on credit, put it on credit, put it on credit. You know, one of my cousins, I want to really talk to you because I've been trying to get her and me. Because after I did this, I felt liberated. After I did the whole finance thing, I really like understood my finances and my expenses. And I want to help her because last time I checked, she was telling me that she didn't know how much she was paying for food.
Then we
and
got to get her on the podcast.
I don't want to
She
put
could be
her
our
on.
first guest.
No, I don't want to put her on
A
blast.
telecall.
No. I'm not a financial advisor. But anyways, I don't agree with that girl, and that's it.
Well, anyways, just briefly going back over the whole thinking style. Now that we've mentioned, you know, girl math is a funny way of thinking, but these serious thinking styles, now that you might start to understand absolutes and how things, you know, are in a continuum and should be thought of, are you going to make an effort to change the way that you see things?
Yes, I've thought about it since you showed me that video. At least not saying like, I always feel anxious or I always do this or nothing like that. Because it's not even true.
That's true.
So yeah, I am over exaggerating and yada, yada, yada. I just wish I was mentally okay again.
What is it going to take?
I don't know. I don't think I'm bad, but I've gotten better. Like I said, I feel like my life has been tainted.
Well,
And it's been almost 2 years.
I had a very interesting question here, or a statement, and I want to ask you if you
Okay.
believe it or not, right? So I find it very manipulative that our angry side is seen as our true colors, as if being happy and kind is fake. Out of all
Oh,
the
that's
good
really
that we
interesting.
do, we are reduced to the bad days or the bad episodes. How do you feel about that?
Wow. Well, that's a very interesting perspective and the way that they put it. But I kind of agree, not with her. I kind of do agree that when somebody shows you their bad side, like it's like, where was this?
Is that because you read the comments or
No.
it actually came from you? That's very deep to think that way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
What page was that on?
Oh, it's there.
No, I
Someone
didn't.
actually did respond that, but I like knowing that you came to that conclusion on your own.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I saw it for face value, and I read the statement, and I believed it. And
I like that statement.
yes, and it is very sad to believe that you are judged based on your worst days. And I don't even think it's that much deeper than that. You know, I just think that it's just sad to me
Okay,
to
yeah.
believe that. And you do bring about a really good point that if something comes out on a bad day, like where was that? Has that happened to you recently, or have you felt that recently? Has something on a bad day come out that you maybe like felt?
It's harder to see it when it's you.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible. I don't think I can even sit here and be like, oh, that was me on a good day and me on a bad day. It's not, I can't see myself from the outside.
Yeah.
But with you or with anybody that I like love, it's easier for me to be like, where the hell did that come from? Like that. So it's harder to be introspective.
Yeah, I can feel that too. Well, in this case, someone was called fat, you know, and that person apologized for calling them fat because, I don't know, I guess they were having a bad day.
What the heck? That doesn't just come out of nowhere,
And
though.
that's the exact response
Wait,
they had. They're like,
but-
so they waited till a bad day to tell me I'm fat. Like,
But that's kind of different. I feel like you can't just take that one back.
okay, look, word for word. I don't know. People seem way more likely to comment on me being fat when they're mad at me. They seemed really ready to go with that. Had to have been in the back of their mind the whole time.
Dang. No, and I can see that. I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
True colors are how you handle bad days. It's easy to be a saint in paradise. If you try to be your best to act rationally and unselfishly while under duress, that is a true testament to your goodness.
Yeah.
Do you agree with these?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Basically, you act different in different situations.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
I want to go back to one of the questions that somebody asked us though.
Yeah.
On the comments. It says, "What's the most vulnerable that you felt on the podcast?"
Me?
They asked you.
Right now. I don't know. There's been moments where shit gets real. And I think maybe even like 10 minutes ago where I was talking about mental breakdowns. I was slightly vulnerable, I would like to believe. There are other moments where things get a little bit tense between you and me. Maybe you say something that I don't like or that I don't believe and I defend myself, or it could be the other way around. Those moments are kind of ugly and they're on the podcast. Obviously, I don't edit these very much. I tend to leave them as they are. But it's very real, you know? And if you go back and look at all these podcasts, there's definitely moments where you and I maybe didn't see eye to eye, and that's very vulnerable.
You think?
Yeah.
But we shouldn't agree on everything. So I'm okay with those moments.
But the disagreements tend to be a little bit bitter.
Can you come up with one? Because I feel like, again, if I'm the audience, I need you to give me more like tangible.
There was a moment in the podcast where you said that I put you down because I'm a man or something and like that.
Yeah, that came out wrong.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that.
Yeah, no, and we spoke about that after.
Yeah.
And I was like, shoot, I didn't want that to. And that's the other thing with these podcasts. It is a little scary. This is like, you can't edit this shit.
Yeah, no.
Well, we don't. So it very much is like what's happening.
I'm not even editing post because look, I'm literally changing the cameras right now. And
I could be having a really bad day and say something that in a week from now when I'm having a really good day, I totally regret.
yeah.
So that part gets me a little bit, you know, I laugh a lot at Karina and Myra's podcast, Chins and Giggles.
Yeah.
And so there was like Elizabeth got dragged in one of the episodes because she basically I maybe this isn't even it. Oh, not me starting like a rumor. But basically she was telling Peter, but I can't with the sound effects. It can't focus.
Okay, tell me.
She was telling Peter like not to believe in God. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
And so then she got dragged in the next episode because people were like, "Why are you that person?" And it was just really funny, her having to explain herself. And
it's tough because we believe a certain way. And
what if we get canceled one day? Like, I feel like if there's anything that might get us canceled, it's going to be this podcast.
Then what are we going to get canceled for believing what we truly believe?
That's what I want to ask you.
I mean, if it doesn't match up with what society thinks is the right thing, or what one particular person believes isn't the right thing, then we might get canceled in that person's eyes, but not everyone.
There's so many times where I feel like things can easily be taken out of context from the podcast. I really don't know how some people do it.
We're doing it.
No, we are doing it, but I don't know. It does scare me a little bit.
Natalie,
Talk to me.
what screams we're not going to last long for couples?
We're not going to last long for couples. Let's see.
When you see a couple and you're like, no, it's not going to last. For me, it's fighting in front of people.
I was actually kind of thinking something like that as well. Like showing disrespect.
Like if you're not embarrassed to like cover it up in front of others, I can't imagine with the fights that go on during like private time.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I kind of feel like at times it's when somebody's very not superior, but like they kind of take the lead and in front of other people, make that person look like crap.
Yes.
That.
I believe that too.
That I think is like, ooh, that's a little bit of a red flag. That's a little bit.
I think name calling in front of other people.
That's terrible. You're right. Because what if you do it in front of others? What are you doing behind?
You know, I think just the way they speak to each other, if they have respect for each other. If they don't invite the other person to events or to things along with them, I mean, you drag me along everywhere. Or like you at least tell me.
Or like flirting in front of your significant other.
That was another weird topic from last time. I don't know if you remember the whole flirting topic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think flirting is a big no-no, especially if you're in a relationship, especially in front of the other person. Like
exactly.
You just said.
That's weird.
That's terrible.
Is it worse though in front or
behind their back? I think behind. No, in front. In front is definitely worse. Breaking up every few minutes and then getting back together.
That's just toxic. I don't know how people do that.
We've never broken up.
No, but I mean, it's not something to like compare. I just think that it must be draining to be on and then be off and be on and off.
Did you have any relationship that kept breaking up and then getting back together?
When I finished with someone, we were done.
That's not a good sign for us.
No, I never loved anyone like I love you. So that's okay.
For us, our relationship's all rainbows, right?
Not always. Let's keep it real.
It has its moments and it has its downsides.
I like that song.
I'm going to break out into screaming later. Anyways, if they have a strongly conflicting plan for their future, that's a big sign that things aren't going to work either. I want to switch over to this video. I thought it was really funny. You were a big Disney girl back in the day.
Okay, what is that? She said, whatever, major loser.
Ew.
So Sabina showed me that video.
Whatever, major loser. That's kind of hard. Whatever, major loser. That's freaking hard. I can't imagine her doing it.
Are you still doing it? Okay.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun.
People in the comments are talking about how they would do it to their younger sibling and it would like destroy their world. Are you still doing it?
I really want to get it right.
Whatever major loser.
I feel like it'd be fun to be a mean girl in a movie. Whatever major loser. Okay, can you play it to me?
Go ahead.
Whatever major loser. You do it.
No, I'm not going to do that. Anyways, was there anything in Disney that you thought was like super cool that you went back to school and like you did it?
I just remember... I remember when Hilary Duff said how she wore the outfit. What is it? Kate was rude. And she's like, Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater. So that stuck with me, like when me and my sister, but just for fun. Like, Angelica Alzate, you are an outfit repeater.
So you just started quoting things from Disney?
No, but I don't know. I hope I didn't say anything.
Did shows affect the way that you acted?
Well, I'm sure there was influence.
So you would say that Disney and kids shows impacted the way that you grew up?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think so.
What about the way that you dressed?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Damn.
So these kinds of things do stick. That's what I wanted to lead to with this.
I think they do. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So what do you think a scene in a show, Whatever Major Loser,
would do to kids? Oh, my God. It would make you do that with your friends. Like if they said something offensive. I mean, I remember one teacher taught us how to say, mind your own beeswax.
Well, one person said, I remember getting hit with that for the first time in elementary school. The Whatever Major Loser.
Oh my gosh. Somebody did that to her?
And it felt like my whole world turned into sand.
Oh, that's so sad.
Whatever Major Loser.
So honestly though, wait, if somebody did that to you in elementary school, that'd be super sad. Especially with this. It's just so fierce.
Like you just stop, everybody looks and you think you're so cool. Whatever Major Loser.
No. I'm saying as being the victim.
Yeah, the victim, yes. Everybody stops and watches as you get your ass pounded by that Whatever Major Loser symbol.
That's sad.
That's so sad.
Very sad.
For me, I did get affected a lot by shows that I watched. I would quote them in school. And then also, if you didn't see a show, you'd be an outcast. Like if everybody's talking about, like, for me and my friends, it was like Dragon Ball Z or any anime. And then if you're not a part of that, then, you can't partake in that conversation.
See, I never cared about that.
So you're kind of left out.
I love being that person that didn't know
but
what
you
was
did
happening.
know. You watched a lot of Disney. So it wasn't like you were excluded, right?
No, I would say more in middle school when people started watching shows, or even high school. Like even to this day, I haven't watched a lot of the iconic ones. We started watching Stranger Things like how many years after it had been popular? I guess I got to jump on Euphoria. I actually kind of like that. Like you test the waters, then tell me.
I heard Euphoria is rough.
I've heard that too, but
I heard it's very rough. I really like this new show that we're watching called The Bear.
You were going to say Beef, weren't you?
I was going to say Beef because
I thought about that.
The actual restaurant is called The Beef.
Yes.
And so The Bear, it's all about, like controlling anxiety, going about life and business, opportunities, and then breakdowns, and then like,
I feel that a lot. I feel that show. I feel his anxiety. I feel like how he wants to really move on in life.
Succeed.
And I had a friend who wanted to start a YouTube channel, and he had started it. And him and his girlfriend were just doing this full time.
Yeah.
And they were asking me, they were like, when did you just know? Like, we've been working so hard. Like, when did you just know that you were going to like succeed in this? And I told him, like, I guess it came from a place more of maturity, because I realized, you know what? The opportunity that I had was the fact that I still live with my parents, that I was 20 years old when I started. So I didn't have to pay for, like, I really wasn't paying for anything. My parents let me, live there.
Yeah.
And, like, I had that pressure, but it wasn't a lot because I also had school to fall back on. So the reason I relate that back to Beef is because that's like his one shot. So there's a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah.
And I feel very lucky that we started at the time that we did.
The thing also is the main character was working at Noma, which is the best restaurant in the world. And he goes to zero, to nothing. Has to build
startup.
his way back up to the top. Is what he wants, is what his dream is. And so, being there is one thing, but then having to rebuild yourself and reach that again after
But he
having
seems so
tasted that
motivated.
success.
I don't know. I think the hardest thing is staying at the top.
You think?
Yes. It's much harder, in my opinion.
So, and are you talking about most things in general, like even restaurants?
I'm
like
just
staying at the
talking
top?
about what I know, which is like, let's say YouTube. Like, I found that going to the top, like getting there, which when I say that, I mean, like, we had a time where we were the number one growing, like fastest growing channel in the world.
Yeah.
Right. That was a fun journey because there was excitement. I wanted to get there, but then staying there and like that consistency of like 3 videos a week and like this and that and managing all that, it wasn't easy anymore. So
you feel what he feels. You understand him.
No, because that what I'm trying to say is it's different because what he's feeling is he's inspired to get there, I feel.
But he was there.
At a cost.
But he was there.
He was there, yeah.
But it wasn't his own
Exactly.
thing.
So he still feels that drive, that hunger, right?
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
now.
because if I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, I don't think I would be able to do this again, like from the beginning at this age.
Wow.
I wouldn't.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. You don't feel that way?
No.
You feel like you could start a YouTube channel, let's say, from scratch again? Well, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I would say that this is starting from the beginning. And I mean, I wouldn't have taken this on if I felt like it wouldn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this is my testament to the bear. I tasted the top, and then I want to get, well, not to the top, but I just want to achieve success.
Mm-hmm. And what is success for you in terms of this?
Being able to continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my success. It's not even about, it's just doing it.
Okay.
And doing it freely and feeling like we are able to.
Uh-huh.
And we have the time to.
That's
yeah.
nice.
I think just sustaining it. I mean, for a lot of people, it's like gardening, but you have to have the garden. And then what is the actual goal with the garden is to continue to garden.
That's true. I think gardening is so enslaving.
Really?
I love the idea and I started gardening, but then it's the fact that when is it? Winter comes around and then everything dies. And then everything has its own cycle.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you want to start over again? No, I don't. My dad
has a mango tree that produced like over 100 mangoes and it's currently at 0 mangoes. And yeah, everything goes in phases.
But I think that there is beauty in that. And I think that goes to show that I can't accept that. The fact that life comes in cycles.
Well, along with cycles comes being sued. And
what the hell?
You know who got sued? Walmart. You want to know why?
Why?
Because today I learned about a federal lawsuit filed against Walmart.
From who?
Concerning a stainless steel travel mug bought there. So someone left mango juice inside of a metal mug inside of a Walmart. Someone went to it, opened it, and the gases that had accumulated inside of the travel mug caused the lid to explode and hit them in the face.
Oh my gosh.
So it propelled her, it hit her, it broke her jaw.
What the hell?
And it led to actual lawsuit. That's how much
makes
pressure.
sense.
The mango juice had been building up for
That's
10 days. You know what's funny?
It?
I brought up mangoes because of my dad's mango tree too.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then another thing that I learned, let me hit you with another song. That there's a society called the Acclimation Society.
What's
What
that?
they do is that they intentionally release animals into other areas that they're not supposed to be in.
That's terrible.
So-
So, for example, right now we have a bunch of rabbits.
There's rabbits all over Florida.
They say it's going to be bad for housing.
Yes. So
We're going to see.
every time we go for a run, we see maybe one or two, but we never
Yeah.
used to see any at all. Like this is a completely new thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so they'll take a non-native species into a new environment and, let it go. And this has led into, a lot of invasive species throughout the years.
Yep.
I mean, they're breaking laws. I don't know what would force you or make you do something like that, like move an animal to where it shouldn't be.
I don't know, honey.
It just seems so
Literally.
wrong.
Yeah,
right?
it does. I kind of wanted to go back, if you don't mind, to the
For sure.
main topic, which is like, how do we build a sustainable routine? You've been going to the gym for over how many years now?
3 years.
3 years. So like, well, how?
Consistency.
Yeah, but like how?
You know what? You want to know what the truth is?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew from the start that it would take a lot of work and effort, and I signed up for it. And I was not planning, and I'm still not planning on stopping. And it's also a lot has to do. Okay, so my dad. Can I just really, really quickly just interject because it's like a story, right? So my dad does not like the feeling of being sore. It kind of bothers him. He feels he's in pain and that it's not right, and soreness is totally normal. If you're going to go work out, you're going to be sore.
Mm-hmm.
You know how bad being sore is when you're freshly at the gym for the first time or when you start a routine. It's terrible. Right. And so for a lot of people, that soreness prevents them from pursuing workouts because they assume that every workout will lead to soreness.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't get sore anymore.
Oh, wow.
I don't feel any soreness. I do feel soreness when I'm running a little bit. And that's because we haven't run as much as I used to. But my muscles don't hurt. And so I can continue beyond what I used to, right? And if I stop, then I will feel the soreness.
But
right?
I want to give them a tangible thing. So like I feel that how you started building your sustainable routine is, yes, you end work at 5 and you're always at the gym around 7.
6:37, yeah.
Right. So like you allocated time for that daily, right?
Yes,
and
I
that
had
has
to.
helped you. And I also think what we've done is I go to the gym, if you will. I try to go Monday through Friday, either at 7 a.m. or at 5:30. So those are like my 2 slots. And that gives me flexibility if I don't want to wake up early or if I just want to wake up early. I either take one of those 2 slots. So if you kind of start creating your ideal week, I spoke about this in my last YouTube video, you'll notice that if you curate little slots that are more like they're non-negotiables, it makes it easier to move around all the other things that come up in life, like grocery shopping or paying bills or stuff like that. Like you first want to establish those. So that's how you will establish a sustainable routine. That's what I have felt we have done, right?
Okay.
Somebody was asking you, like, how do you stay motivated?
For me?
Yeah.
I don't think about it.
You don't think about it?
I told you this and it feels very weird. I assume the mental state of a robot.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it to you, but I check out. I remove my emotions from running and from working out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ask myself, how do you feel? I just do. And
that's so interesting because I recently did that this week and that worked for me too.
Yes.
I did that with work.
Yep.
And with running.
Yeah.
Remember I told you, I was like, how am I going to run this today? And somehow I just put my clothes on and got there and I was like, I'm not letting myself think about this. I'm just going to do it.
That is a state of mind. You have to check out, right? Especially when there's something that you don't want to do.
Okay, but how do you do that? Like realistically?
I tell myself, you're a fucking robot.
What?
Do it.
That doesn't seem healthy.
I am a machine. I literally think of no emotion, brainless, pump and iron, and I just think it. And I enjoy it though, so I don't have to mentally check out every time. That's not what I'm saying, right? But there are moments that it is difficult, right? And even after this, I'm going to go to the gym. And do I feel like doing it today? No. But, it's just one day that I might not want to, that I know that if I go, it's that much closer to success that I'm going to get.
When I first lost 35 pounds, I realized it was just that. It was those incremental efforts add up in the long run. So I'm going to go to the gym today. Why? I promised myself I would. Am I motivated? Absolutely not. Will I give it 100%? No, I'm going to give it 5. Okay. So then in the next 20 days that I gave it 5, it starts to add up. So it does really play an impact. It's all about those little habits.
In our running, we use a Nike Run Club, and you have this coach in your headphones called, his name is Coach Bennett. And so there is this one part of this beginner's class where it's a 5-minute run, or it could have been 7. I think it was actually both. It was a 5 and a 7. And so like you look at that run and you're like, 7 minutes, like I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. It's an optional run too. So you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. So we still did it. We went out and we did a 7-minute run. And man, let me tell you, a 7-minute run is harder than a 30-minute run. It is harder than a 35-minute run. Why? Because it seems so unnecessary. And so when you deem something unnecessary, you're like, I don't want to make time for that. It's so dumb. 7 minutes, like what am I going to do?
Yeah.
But it makes a big difference at the end, because how many runs are you going to squeak in? 5, 7, 8 minutes, under 10 minutes, 10 minutes? Like it adds up ultimately. No,
it does. And I agree 100% with you on that one.
I swear to God, if for example, we're going to go to Colombia soon and I'm not going to be able to work out, I'm going to try to do push-ups. I'm going to try to like do literally anything.
Boy, I hope you keep that promise. I'm very afraid for Colombia because I'm afraid to lose my routine.
Check this out. We went to Hawaii. Yeah. For our for our honeymoon.
Yes.
I was about to say morning routine. My brain's fucked. So anyways, we went, and guess what? We went to the gym.
We did?
We went to the gym.
You did, honey.
Yes, I worked out on our honeymoon.
I didn't.
But we also had healthy food.
Okay, here's what we're going to do.
We've done changes. Tell me. Okay, go.
Let's go in with a plan. Right?
A plan.
Because that's how you don't get overwhelmed, which is the other part of this whole podcast. We have to go in with a plan to Colombia. The plan is...
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We go again.
Yeah. We think about, hey, how often in the week, realistically, are we going to work out in Colombia?
Yeah.
Twice a week?
Sure.
We're going to make sure we walk our 10,000.
You want me to be honest with you? It has to be the same as as here.
Every day?
Yes. So...
How?
Even if it's... Okay, let me tell you... And this is let me because you asked me a question and I want to answer it properly. Even if it's in the morning before showering or whatever, if I take some resistance bands or I just do like this, like just simple. Like I can say I did it. I did something today and I won't leave my routine. And in my mind, even if I don't do anything for these 3 weeks and I come back, I'm going to go to the gym again just because I'm in my element. I am home. I don't know. Like, it's at this point, it's harder for me to stop than it is to continue.
But that's why I'm scared when we go.
Don't be scared. What are you talking about? Explain it to me.
I'm scared to lose my routine.
What routine?
My waking up at a certain time, making our own breakfast. There we're going to be eating whatever they give us. Is it going to be bread and rice? Because I don't want to eat that.
We're not just going to have
we'll grocery shop. We're adults.
Wait, what? This is so odd. Going to Colombia and grocery shopping for ourselves.
Think about it. We're going to be in somebody's home. We have to
We're going to be in someone's.
We have to help.
Yeah, but how do I explain this to you? Like, we're going to have to live it. Follow us on Instagram if you want to see how things turn out.
We're in Colombia by the time this podcast goes live.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I can vlog a little bit of what we eat or whatever. But I can promise you, we will work out at least a little bit. I am going to take my resistance bands.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little tired.
Why? Tell me.
The lights. We filmed another podcast before this. I'm just a little tired.
And your alarm went off. Should have put that on Do Not Disturb.
It's for a podcast going up in 5.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. So you guys better check out whatever that one was.
It was about cycle syncing.
Cycle syncing. How has your cycle syncing been going? Would you say it's succeeding?
I think I'm still very new to it. So I have a lot to learn.
So it's been 1 week since the cycle syncing video came out, right? Just so you know,
okay.
At this point in time.
Sure.
But for the little bit of time that you have done it, can you see it leading to success?
Yes, I can. Yes. For sure.
Can you tell me a little bit more
About how it's going to lead me to success?
Yeah, like the taste of success. How can you see it working for you? And how do you plan on doing it in Colombia as well?
I have no idea how I'm going to do in Colombia. I arrive on my period week.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. And I have to socialize and be with people. I don't know about that. So I guess just kind of preparing myself for that flight.
The flight?
I'm tired, honey. I am tired.
What do you mean you're tired?
Like, I'm really tired today.
Oh, okay.
I am. I'm feeling tired, honey.
Well, guys, this has been episode 34. We're running by ourselves. No David, no Sabina. We're pushing through. And it doesn't mean that obviously we're going to stop. It's going to continue. But we've been doing a lot of work this week. We're getting back into YouTube. If you haven't checked our main channel at this point, there's definitely a YouTube video out for you to go and enjoy. the biggest yawn in the world. Thanks for tuning in today's episode. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, and also be sure to rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. This season might actually be over soon after this episode. This might be that last episode of the season.
And so then that means we take a break for how long?
It'll be about a month.
Okay, I think that's good because we get to reset.
Yes.
You know, and I would even like to know from you guys, what are things you have liked? What are things you haven't liked? What are changes you want to see?
Yes.
And topics and even guests.
Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram for more info as to when season 2 can drop, because it might be a month or 2 or more. But
no, I think it's going to be a month.
It won't be a long time.
No, I think
sure.
it'll be a month.
And then other than that, thanks for tuning in. We will be transitioning from RSS feed into Spotify video. So you will be able to check Spotify video as well for our content. That's going to be very new for season 2.
That's exciting.
Very exciting. Amazing. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you and have a great Friday.
Bye.